Hi, congratulations on your new RV. We're really excited for you. Please make sure before you're signing that you bring the following items with you. If you're a cash buyer, please make sure that you bring a cashier's check, no personal checks at time of signing, or you may bring actual cash. If you're a finance customer, please make sure that you bring proof of insurance listing your specific lien holder. If you need that information, please call us ahead of time. Also, make sure that you bring all valid driver's license of all persons that will be listed on the title. If you have a trade that you're trading in with us, please make sure that you bring your 10-day payoff as well as your title and all persons who will be listed on the title of that trade. Arrive 30 minutes early before your appointment time so we can properly inspect your unit, and also make sure that you have the fridge on and running prior to arrival. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 810-686-0710. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your Keystone Bullet Crossfire 2200 BH bunkhouse travel trailer. I'm here to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite. A few things to take into consideration when parking. On your campsite, I want you to leave plenty of room for that awning. Over on your off campsite, I want you to think about where your power and water connection is going to be. Your power is going to plug in right above your rear tire on your off camp side or your driver's side of your tow vehicle. And then your water docking station is going to be right toward the front, just behind your storage there. So park accordingly so you can utilize facilities at the campsite. Once you arrive and unhook your hitch, first thing we're going to do is level your unit. Unit comes with a power tongue jack. Night docking light should you arrive at night. Simply retract to lower, extend to raise. Now should you lose power, under this rubber stopper right here, this hand crank will go on to a bolt in there and get this up and down should you lose power. Speaking of power, check your battery post now and then. Make sure those haven't wiggled loose. Once we got our unit level, next thing we're going to do is stabilize it. Inside your off campsite storage, kind of terrible lighting in here, but in here are your power stabilizing jacks. So extend them down. We recommend stabilizing jack pads. Jack pads will protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt and debris and hot blacktop in the summer. So the button toward the front will actually be your front ones, and then your rear ones will run down as well. The stabilizing jacks are a good investment. Use your 10% off coupon. Put them down underneath these. Run these down just until they're taut. Once it starts to feel like it's going to lift the unit, go ahead and stop. Remember, we're already level. We just want to stabilize it. Now, before you stabilizing jacks down, we go ahead and hook up your power and water. Your power cord is going to plug in on the rear of the unit here. 30 amp cord. It'll plug in, say, at about 11 o'clock, and then you turn it to your right. Lock that down with that gray washer. At the end of this 30 amp service, should you need to plug into a 110 at home, you'll have a reducer in your convenience pack where you can go from 30 down to 15 amp. Get your power hooked up. Let's hook up our water. Docking station is going to be up here toward the front. First and foremost, our water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi, protecting all the lines in your unit. Always use this because you don't know what the water pressure is at different campsites. We'll hook that up to city water connection here. Hook that up. Hook up your hose, but don't turn on your hose yet. We got one more step. Come around to your campsite and find your hot water heater. Just left of your doorway here. Here's your hot water heater. And all we're doing at this point, folks, making sure the drain plug's back on there. Throw a little plumber's tape around there. Get that on there nice and snug. Get that cap on there. Once that's on there tight, you can go ahead and turn that hose on. Now, after that hose has been on for a few minutes, I want you to go inside and open up all of your water taps. Get a nice steady flow of water going through them. Get all the air out of the lines. Shut them off. Same thing in your bathroom. Turn all of them on. Get the air out of the lines. Get a nice steady flow of water. Shut them off, and then you'll know that your hot water heater is full by coming out here and lifting up on this pressure release valve. Get the water coming out of there. You'll know that your hot water heater is full, and you're able to turn that on from indoors. Now let's say we're gonna go camping and we're not gonna use city water. We're gonna go dry camping or boondocking. Well, in that case, we'll fill up our freshwater tank. No need for a water pressure regulator here. Simply gravity fill this with a hose. Two ways to tell when it's full. One, there's an overflow valve right here. Or two, on the inside where you check the levels of your black and gray tanks, there's also a freshwater button. Keep an eye on that when you're filling it. Once it's full, remove that hose. Put your cap back on there, and then whenever you want to utilize that water, you'll turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump when hooked up to city water. That is already pressurized. All right, we're all set up with power and water, ready to camp. Let me go ahead and walk you around the rest of the unit. Continuing here on our off-camp side. Again, in your storage here is an access panel to your water pump and water line to siphon in antifreeze. You do all your bypassing in there. This access panel screw right back on there. You also got a spray port hose. I'll show you where you can quick connect that at. Fresh and city water. Got an outdoor shower, hot and cold water on that. Access to the back of your fridge. Fluid for your furnace. Two things on that. One, make sure it's never blocked. And two, if you're running your furnace, steer clear of that. It does get hot. Our power connection. It's a black tank flush. We'll talk about that when we dump our black and gray tanks. Down here. In the rear of the unit, got a spare tire. Brand new. I recommend getting a cover for it. Keep that new. Here's where that spray port hose can hook up. That'll help you spray off your outdoor kitchen. Your awning is tiltable for rain. Simply pull down on this. That'll give you a pitch adjust and run all the rainwater to one end. We have our outdoor kitchen here. A magnet to hold that up. Area here for a small fridge. And you've got a table area here. Quick connect LP right below it. Again, your hot water heater. A couple of 110s. They make tables that'll fit on these and set outside for you to give yourself an extra table here. A couple of outdoor speakers for our sound system. Coming up front, the other side of our storage with your hitch work in it. Again, your propane comes with a cover. It's on a regulator. Simply pointed toward the tank you wish to be using. Lefty loosey to open. Behind your battery is a battery disconnect. That will disconnect all the battery power to your unit. That'll come important later when I talk about your carbon monoxide and propane detection. And that about covers everything out here. So take a look on the inside. Coming up inside the unit, first thing I like to point out is your fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone who's camping with you knows the fire extinguisher is located by the entry doorway in case of an emergency. Coming up top, here's our control panel. We'll start up top here, show you a brand new battery. Fresh, black and gray tanks. You still draining those? This is your hot water heater. You turn it on over here if you're hooked up to gas. Over here for electric. It does make a difference. Choose correctly. Here's where you turn on that water pump when using potable water. A porch, which is actually an awning, and ceiling lights. Awning retract and extend. Now on your awning, you only want to extend that out until you can see that brown bar and your flaps fall down to 90 degrees. If you hold that down, it will continue to run itself out and start to run itself up backwards. So keep an eye on it when you run it out. Don't run it out further than you need to. Go ahead and run that awning back in here. And I'll continue the tour here. You do have a table that is on a metal lip back here in the back. Lift it up off that lip. Put your table down on these. And that'll give you another sleeping quarters. Put these cushions on top of it. Up here in the corner you have a mount for a TV. Turn our sound system on. See if I can pick up a station in here. Extremely. There we go. So there's
Apparently
indoors.
the pet store won't take it back.
Shut off the indoors.
But, hey, I'll manage.
And have just outdoors.
Just like I manage without home internet.
Shut that off. A couple USB ports there. Here's a furnace. Turn that on. Did you hear that kick on? I'm going to shut that furnace off. Generally, it's going to take a couple minutes for the furnace to fan to cycle through before it shuts off. We've got our bunk areas, USB ports on the back of those. Same thing here. You also can fold this up to give yourself storage here. Coming into the bathroom. Just want to remind you, you got a little plumbing to maintain underneath your sinks. Almost all this is PEX nowadays. Easy to maintain, but remember, you're bouncing a house up and down the road. Come check things, make sure nothing's wiggled loose over time. There's access panels to water lines underneath your tub there. Same thing on your toilet. Just keep an eye on things. You do have a hand crank open power exhaust vent above your shower. 110 with GFCI reset in here. Make sure when you're traveling, your vent is closed and your door is closed. Outside your bathroom here is your access panel to your breaker box and fuses. Got a ton of 15s, a 10, couple 40s. Highly recommend having some of those with you when you take off. Vents for our heat. Our Dometic fridge controls are up in your freezer. So here's where you turn it on and off. Turn that on. Auto means when you're plugged in, you're running off electricity. As soon as you unplug, it'll switch to gas. Lift up on that, it'll go to gas. If this light comes on, check your gas, it's getting low. Generally keep that right on auto. It's cold. You have a hand crank open vent here. No exhaust to that. Your microwave, show you that working here. Where to start. Stop. Below that, fan and light above your cooktop. Cooktop, turn that up to high. Light that with a stick lighter. You have a big sink with a nice cutting board cover for that. Again, more plumbing. All the access is underneath here for it. Down below that is going to be your 12 volt carbon monoxide propane detector. The reason I mention this 12 volt, always running off your battery. So if you are out dry camping, boondocking somewhere, nothing plugged in charging your battery, use battery disconnect on this to keep that from running your battery down if you're going to be gone all day. Alright, let me show you quickly how to set up your Murphy bed. I'm going to jackknife down the first part and then bring down the bed. Alright, we're going to lift up on the front of the bed, or the sofa. That's going to lay the back down. We're going to come up here, undo a couple locks, fold everything forward, kind of pulling the footboard forward with you when you lay it all down. We just simply reverse the process, put it all back. Lift up the front here. Up in there. Put your locks in. Bring back up the front of your sofa, which you do have a little storage underneath as well. Smoke alarm in the ceiling here. This is if you ever decide to get a wine guard system for it. This is the bubble where you install a wine guard satellite system. And your AC system. Cold to coldest, high to low. That about covers everything in here. Let's act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. First thing I like to say is doors and drawers. Go through your unit, secure everything down, have all doors and drawers closed. Now lighting, come to my control panel, shut off my ceiling lights. That way any other lights that are on are simply accent lights to shut off. Come back to my ceiling lights. Again, make sure everything's secured down. Shut off my lights and exit the unit. Steps fold up pretty easy. 1, 2 folds. Tuck it underneath. Now, if we are out boondocking, we're going to come over to our off campsite here. Underneath our freshwater connection is our freshwater drain. A couple of dribbles continuing to come out of there. If we are, we'll go ahead and dump that, and then bring up our stabilizing jacks. Come back in here, lift them up, hook up our hitch, and head on to the closest dump station or home. If we are at a campsite, we'll unhook our water, our cable, our power, bring up our stabilizing jacks, hook up our hitch, and head on up to the dump station. At the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump's going to be behind your tires on your off-camp side, or your driver's side of your tow vehicle, just behind it. You got 10-foot hose, comes with your convenience pack. Hook that up and pull our black tank. Now our black tank's going to be our sewage. Go inside, see when that's empty. When that's showing empty, come back outside, leave that handle open. Again, emphasizing, leave that handle open. Grab the hose at the dump station, come up here to your tank flush, hook that hose up, and let that run for a good 5 minutes. It's going to wash all that nastiness out of your black tank. Guy behind you can wait 5 minutes. He's on vacation too. Get it all washed out. Close that up. Now make sure all that washout you have put in there drains. Once that black tank's showing empty, close that black and pull that gray. While my gray tank's draining, let's go ahead and drain my low point drains. Done both of them. If we're done camping for the season, head on around to our hot water heater. Just don't want to leave water in these, they get really stagnant. Lift up on this pressure release valve, get all the water out of there. Careful, it's going to be hot. Once that's done, push that lever back down, or otherwise your door won't close. And then pull your drain plug down here. Again, be careful, hot water coming out of there. When that's done draining, come back around here, close your gray tank, remove this hose, store it in a nice convenient sanitary spot, and head on home. Again, thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this bullet Crossfire for many years to come. Happy camping.